Hey everyone, I'm Matt with Ozark Overland Adventures, and got another Gaia tutorial for you. In this one, we're going to just talk about some general tips and tricks that I've uncovered over the last few years using Gaia GPS. Talk about some questions that people have asked me in the classes that I teach. If you have not seen my other Gaia videos, I've got a whole series on them. I've got a whole intro to Gaia video, which is great if you're new to Gaia GPS. I have got a deep dive video on the layers, going into where all the layers are, which ones I use, all the different options, that sort of stuff. And then I've got one on organization, how to organize all of the data that you may find in your Gaia GPS app. So this one, we're going to talk about just some general tips and tricks, and we will dive in. One of the great things about Gaia is the ability to plan a trip and get very detailed with it. You know, where you're going to go, places you're going to stop, places you're going to camp, points of interest along the way, you know, over multiple days for an overlanding off-road journey. And one of the great things that you can do once you've got all that stuff planned out is to share that with your friends, maybe share that with your family so that they know where you're going, where maybe they can expect to find you. If you've got, you know, a group of friends going with you on the trip, that way they can have the route. So let me show you multiple ways to be able to do that. And I am primarily going to be on the desktop version of Gaia GPS. I'm in my Chrome browser here. And so I'm going to be using that most of the time. But everything is pretty much applicable on your mobile device, and there'll be a few things that I demonstrate on the iPad. But for this one especially, it is much easier to do your pre-planning at home, you know, at your desk, sitting on the couch with your laptop, with the web browser interface. It's okay to do on a tablet. It's not exactly super easy to do on a phone just because of the smaller screen. But doing it on, you know, a laptop or a computer with a nice big screen that you can, you know, have a nice big view, that's the best way to do it. So that's what I'm doing here. Now, I have, I created a trip through Colorado last year, in 2022. And it was 8 days going around primarily this northern half of Colorado, west of Denver. And so let me find that to you, just to show you how to get there. I pieced them all together. I show how I did this in my Gaia 101 intro to Gaia GPS video. But to get there real quick, I'm going to go here and I'm going to go Colorado 2022. So this is my trip right here, Colorado 2022. I'm going to click on it. That has, you can see it dimmed all of the other stuff around it. This was my trip right here. And it brings all that out to the forefront so that you can see it better. And then once you have that here in your saved items, I am in the folders section here. I cover, you know, how to find and do all that sort of stuff in the how to stay organized video. I'll put links to all these down in the description just so you can get to them easier if you haven't watched them or maybe need a refresher. But I am here in the folder of my Colorado 22 trip. Here I've got two options on how to share this. I can, first of all, just click share. Share then takes a URL to this trip and gives you a link that you can then just easily send out to your friends. You can send out to, you know, through text or email or Facebook Messenger or whatever. But it's just a simple link to be able to send to your friends. They can then open that folder up in Gaia, link to your stuff, and if they want to, be able to add that to their Gaia. Or you can hit invite others to this folder. And this is great if you are collaborating with people and maybe working on the same trip together. Watch this. I'm gonna use my Ozark Overland Adventures. I'm not actually gonna send this email, but once you click on an email address here in the send folder invite, you can send a message if you want to. There's this edit access. If this is not toggled, all they can do is view, which is exactly what they have if you just send them the link. Now, if you invite them and you toggle this, now these collaborators may view and edit items in this folder. So that gives them the ability to make changes, maybe add other points of interest or add campsites, or maybe they, researched, hey, this might be a good side trip to make on this trip. All kinds of scenarios. But if you've got a group of people or maybe a couple people and you're collaborating on putting a trip together like this, you can give them editing access and you guys be able to work together kind of as a team. Each dropping waypoints, each dropping routes and, making routes and stuff like that, point of interest, that sort of thing. And then you just click on invite. That's a pretty cool way to do it and be able to work on something together. So giving them the editing rights, if you want to, is great. So you've got that, you've got the share, you've got the invite others to join, invite others to this folder. And then the other way I can share this folder with others is by clicking on this export button and export it as a GPX, a KML, a GeoJSON, but GPX is the preferred file format. And then I can click on that and it will export the file and then I can share it. The other way to do it is to go to this folder view over here. I'm going to go here to click on my icon over here in the upper right hand corner, click on folders. Again, I go over this stuff in detail in my how to stay organized in Gaia. Okay, so here's my folders. And search for that same folder here, Colorado 2022, here it is. If I click on this, I've got a few options here in this view as well. Another option here is, here's that same share this folder. I can do it from here. I can enter an email address, make a message. I can give them editing access from here. And then, boom, click that button. I can also go here to this data tab and download this as a GPX file. So let me download that. Now I've got that file, there it is. Now I've got that file downloaded as a physical file on my computer. From that, I can attach that to an email, send it in a Facebook Messenger. I can send that multiple ways, put it on a flash drive if I want to, but there's a GPX file that I can use to give out to my friends or whoever needs to have that file. Or maybe, if a friend of mine next year wants to run that trip, boom, I can send it to them. So makes it super easy to share. So multiple ways to be able to share your folders, your trips with others. And this is true if it's a whole folder, if it's just one waypoint. You can do everything I just showed if it was just a waypoint or just one track or just one route. Everything is the same. Now let's go back to the map. And another way to share a waypoint is to just give someone the coordinates. So let's zoom in here to Colorado and let's say we are going to this North Cottonwood Creek trailhead. And maybe there's I don't know, I've never been there, but maybe there's a great campsite there, or maybe there's a great campsite right here. I bet there is right here on the stream. So we want to share that with someone. They just said, hey, where's that campsite you stayed at on that stream in Colorado? So if I just click anywhere here, it's going to pull this up, and you can see it says coordinates. All I got to do is click right there, copy coordinates, and they're copied to clipboard. Now I can put them in an email, put them in Facebook Messenger, however you message people, and do that. Now, depending on where you click, it may look a little different. There we go. So now you see this marked location, a little bit smaller letters here. If I click on these three dots, boom, copy coordinates. Same thing, but sometimes depending on where you click and the information that's there, if it's out here in the open, you get the big one. If it's maybe on a road, it comes up looking a little bit different, but it's there in both locations. You can just fairly quickly copy coordinates. Now, on your mobile device, it is very similar. If you tap where you want that the coordinates come up, kind of here in the very small print. If you tap there, it's going to expand the whole thing. If you tap and hold, it will give you the option to copy that, and from that you can then send it, text it, whatever, however you need to send that. But that's how you get those coordinates copied on the mobile device. So if you tap here on the road, again, pops out. You just tap and hold for just a second and copy it like that. You can't. There's no little three dots or simple copy thing on the mobile device like there is on the desktop. But that's how you do it in the app. Also, when it comes to coordinates, let's say someone sends you coordinates. So let me go to Google Maps here. And let's go, we'll go over here to Utah. And over here in the San Rafael Swell. Let's just say this right here. If you click on anything in Google Maps, you get the coordinates down here. So let's say this is some coordinates that someone sent you. You can take those coordinates, and all you have to do is paste them in the search bar, and it will take you right to it. So there it is, and from there you can hit this right here and do say waypoint, and then change everything that you want to, if you want to save that. But the coordinates information, it can go both ways. If you're sent coordinates, you just copy and paste it into the search bar, and it takes you to whatever that is. So that's super handy. All right, let me zoom out here, and I actually just learned this trick. There are multiple ways to get all of your stuff either visible or hidden on your screen. When I'm pre-planning a route, I like to be able to see every place that I've been. So I like to have all the tracks and stuff visible. But when I'm actually laying things out, I prefer to have a nice clean screen. Now, there's a couple ways to do that. One, you can go here to overlays, and from there you can turn off huge segments. But what if I don't want everything on the map gone? I just want, maybe I just want to focus on one state. So staying here in Colorado, and turn on my waypoints too. There we go. That's a nice cluttered mess right there. So let's focus here on Colorado. Now, one very slow and tedious way that you can hide things is to zoom in. You can click on it, and it brings up the details of that route tracker waypoint. And you can click here, map visibility on, and I can turn it off. You can see it's toggling right there. I don't want to actually get rid of it, so I'm not gonna click into it because I want it to be able to come back. So you can toggle them individually there. So if you're, maybe needing to hide individual waypoints, like let's just say this one, this little waypoint icon here, this one, boom, I can turn that off. There we go. Now it's hidden from the map. Maybe I don't want this one. That says that's a difficult campground. That's already labeled on the map, kind of redundant. I've already got this waypoint showing it, so let's turn that off. So I can turn stuff off individually. That's going to be a royal pain if I want to clear the map. So let's go here to saved items. Let's filter this. I know just about everything is in folders. So I'm going to go to folders. And then I'm going to search. I did a pretty good job of naming things. So I'm going to search Colorado. So every folder that's named Colorado is here. Now, here I can quickly You can see up here in the upper right hand corner, there's where some of these are, and my Colorado 22 waypoints. I can toggle those on and off. But that's going to be tedious for me to go through every one of these, especially if I have a bunch. So watch this. But that's one way you can do it. If I click on this little button here, I then get this button up here to allow me to toggle all of them. And then these three dots right here, I click on that, set map visibility, hide on map, and everything that was in those folders is now gone. I've got a whole bunch of waypoints in here that weren't in folders, but all the routes and tracks and stuff, a lot of them are gone. So let's go back. Let me now get those back again. Everything Colorado. You can see here all the icons show no visibility. And then I click here, click all of them, and then set map visibility to show on map. And now everything is back. So multiple ways to be able to hide and show the things that are on your map if you need to. Now, when I am doing things on my computer, like I said, when I'm planning, I like to have everything, I like to have the places I've been visible. But when I'm, maybe on my phone or my tablet actually navigating my trip, the only thing I want to have visible is the trip that I'm on. I don't want to have the whole clutter of everything on my screen. I just want to be able to focus on that one thing. And unfortunately, you can't do the radio buttons and that sort of stuff in your saved folders. Here you can see I've got this sorted by Colorado, but I can, I can fairly quickly toggle things on and off that way. It's just not quite as fast and easy as it is on here. But when I'm on my tablet that I use in my Jeep, it's completely clear. So as I record a trip, I immediately go in and turn that off once I get home, because I want to have the next one available or visible for the next time. So I keep my iPad in my Jeep screen pretty clear, so I can focus on what I'm doing. This is my planning iPad, so everything's there. Now let's take a look at public tracks. This is a feature I get asked about a lot, and it's honestly not the best feature in Gaia. It's there. It's a resource. Let me turn all my stuff off here. So here's, all right, now I've got a completely clean screen. So down here in the overlay section is public tracks. It is also in the mobile device. If you click on the layers tab in the upper right hand corner and go to map overlay, I can turn everything off, and public tracks is right there. So I can turn them on here as well. But if we select public tracks, what you're going to see is a bunch of faint green lines show up on the screen. Now, as you hover over them, they get more visible. But they start out kind of being hard to see. You gotta move stuff around. Problem is there's no way to sort and filter these. So you can't filter the public tracks by hiking or off-roading or whatever. If you're lucky, the person who created that track gave you some detail. So this is Schofield Pass in Colorado. This is someone's track. Let me click on it. There are multiple public tracks for Devil's Punch Bowl or Schofield Pass. So you have 6 different ones. So they all look about the same. All these are 9 miles. This one's 4 miles. So let's click on this first one and see. So this goes Devil's Punch Bowl to basically to Marble here. And there's no information on what it is. You don't have much to go by. So let's go back. Let's see, maybe this one. See what we got here. Again, we get a little more information. The average speed was 4.4 miles an hour. This person actually left notes. Beautiful pool at the base of a waterfall. Yay for that person. So all of these public tracks are just any user of Gaia GPS. When we record tracks, when it's time to save them, you can toggle public or private. And if you leave it public, then it is here for anyone to see. And if, whether it's helpful or not to someone depends on the user and what information they gave. So this one did tell a little bit about what Devil's Punch Bowl is, but I don't know. I mean, 4.4 miles an hour. I don't know if they were in a off-road vehicle or side by side. 4.4 miles an hour seems a little slow for a side by side. Maybe they were hiking real fast. Maybe they were on mountain bikes. I don't know. I don't know how they did that. Let's go back. Let's see if we can find this track here that includes Lead King Basin. Also, no information. Average speed 8.6 miles an hour. That's pretty much it. Let's check this one out. This is just because of this area, I know this is a hiking trail. Let's see if there's any information here. Okay, they actually labeled theirs backpacking. So this was a backpacking trip that they went on. And there's no information on speed. You do find out who the creator was. And that's it. But let's say we wanted to do this Lead King Basin route that we just looked at. There we go. I think this was it. And the things that we can do with this are, I can copy this to my tracks, and it would show up in my stuff. I don't have to have public tracks toggled to be able to access this. I can export this as a GPX. I can go, I can go to the details page, which then pulls up this view. And again, I have the option to add to my tracks or download it as a GPX file. Gives you the total distance, total time that they had. The total moving time was just under 3 hours. Total time took them 3.5 hours. So, I mean, you get some useful information in there in the public tracks, but it just requires a lot of digging. So I don't find the public tracks information really useful for my planning. Maybe a little more useful for hiking, because I know these are hiking trails, and so I can look at this and see. This is the Maroon Bells Loop. I have been to the Maroon Bells. Very pretty. Man, okay, they've got this labeled hiking. It's a 26-mile hike. Highly doubt they did that in a day. So definitely an overnight trip. But we can see their average speed was very slow, of 0.3 miles per hour, max speed of 4 miles an hour. Total time 77 hours. So that took them three days, over 3 days to do that hike. That sounds amazing. So for hiking, I think maybe there's some more value in the public tracks than there is for off-roading, because this could have been. I mean, you don't know if it's mountain biking or if it's Jeep or side by side or what it is. But the public tracks are there, and if you want to dig through them, it's there. I never use public tracks because there's just better resources for the things that we do, like trailsoffroad.com, the Fun Treks guidebooks, that sort of thing. So there's better resources. And I don't know, especially for like where we are here in the Ozark National Forest. There's a lot of public tracks that if you just blindly follow them, they take you on closed trails. So you'll be, you know, doing things illegally. If you happen to get stopped by a law enforcement officer, probably get a ticket for being off trail or for being on a closed trail. So there's just no information in there, and so take that with some caution, and make sure you validate anything that you're using in the public tracks. Some other quick things that you can do, you can see, you know, as you create different routes and tracks and stuff, that it automatically assigns colors to whatever you're doing. If maybe in an effort to, you know, organize a trip, you don't want things being all the same color. So you can click on any of your routes and tracks. You can hit edit, and then right here you can change the color to suit whatever you want to. So maybe on a trip that you're planning, you want day 1 to be one color, day 2 to be another color, day 3 to be another color, just visually to keep them separated. So you can change the color of your stuff just by clicking the edit button on it, or change the color before you save it. You can do the same thing with waypoints. So here's a generic waypoint right here. If I click on that and then click edit, from here I can change the icon. So maybe that's campsite, maybe that is a point of interest, or maybe it's an overlook, maybe it's a swimming hole, maybe it's a water crossing, maybe it's a bus stop, maybe there's a gate there. There's a lot of icons in here that you can use to kind of customize what that means to you. And you know, maybe you're doing campsites, and really good campsites you're going to do in red, possible campsites you're going to do in blue. I mean, you can get as granular and as detailed as you want to with this to make things stand out, and for them to mean whatever it is that you want it to mean. So, but all of this stuff is customizable here in the detail section if you click on edit. Another handy thing as you're pre-planning, so if I click on, you know, let's click on that icon again. Notice right here, it tells you current weather. So it's currently 42 degrees. It's going to be a low of 30 tonight here near Ashcroft. There is 0% chance of precipitation. And here's the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday forecasts. So just real quickly, in Gaia, as you're planning, you can get the upcoming weather forecasts, which is crazy handy. A lot of people don't realize that Gaia does that, and it's right there. So that's way cool. So one other thing that Gaia added recently, which is pretty cool for when you're trying to plan things and check out the terrain that you're traveling through, is in the bottom right hand corner there's this new 3D feature. You can toggle 3D on and off. I think that's actually available in the Android app. It's sadly not available yet for the iOS app. But you can toggle the 3D, and then you can adjust the 3D angle here. And now I've got kind of a top-down view, and it really changes the look and gives you a better perspective of the elevation changes, especially as I move in here. I think that's pretty darn cool. And you can, adjust the bearing, you can hold down the control key. There we go. And then drag left and right to change your position. So if you want to see what this looks like from this direction, and then get back on the road here, see this canyon that you're driving through. That's pretty cool. All right, let's move over here let's look at some more extreme terrain here. Let's go here into Colorado, and let's take a look at this area, at this 3D view. And if you're using a map layer like the Gaia Overland layer, I mean, check this out. As you rotate that, you can see this big, that's over 12,000 feet. You can see these in the distance. You can see all of your little icons out there in the distance. As you make it flatter, that's just pretty cool to be able to look at it that way. and then be able to zoom around and zoom in. So you can you can get down to like you're here on the road, really pretty close. And I mean, that's pretty cool. So that's another new feature that's in there. And if you're looking at the Gaia Overland layer, you want to quickly see like the map legend and stuff, it is also down here real quickly, able to access, and it highlights what they are on the map. So you've got your BLM land, your national forest land, wilderness areas. So then you can get over here and get your details. So pretty cool stuff that Gaia has included down here on the bottom right hand corner. One final thing I want to show you on the mobile device, and that is how to know maybe how much farther you have to go before you get to a waypoint, or how much farther you have to go on a route. If you go into your settings and go to distance markers, turn the markers on, and now when you zoom in, each one of those markers, I have it set to 1 mile. You can set it to a quarter mile or half mile. I wish they gave you like a 5 mile and a 10 mile, but they don't. 1 mile is the biggest you got. So between every marker is 1 mile. So if I am, say over here at these lakes, and I want to know how far it is to get, over here to this campground, all I got to do is pull it up, and so I can just start counting and figure out how many more miles I have to go. And that's a lot easier than this, especially with all the curves and stuff. That's a lot easier than trying to guess based on the distance scale here. You can be quite exact. We have actually had to use that several times when we've been on trips and maybe really low on gas and need to know how much farther do we have to go on this this trail before we can get to a gas station. We've had to do that before. So really handy way to turn distance markers on and off. Now, obviously that doesn't tell you how fast it's going to take you to get there because of the type of terrain and stuff, but at least you know how far it is. Well, I hope that was helpful. Just some little things that we've learned over the last, over the years that we've been using Gaia GPS that just help make things a little easier, little tips and tricks to help customize your stuff, share your stuff, and find out information when you're out and about, and especially while you're planning. So if you would, drop any questions you have in the comments. And again, if you haven't seen those previous videos and maybe have other questions that those videos answers, those links will be in the description so you can access them easily. But I hope this was helpful. If you would, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're not, help us reach that goal of 100,000 by the end of this year. And if you like what we're doing and you want to, gain access to all of our GPS data, all of our tracks and waypoints and stuff, and also special content, special events like this big gathering that we've got coming up at Maris Adventure Park in December. Check out the Patreon link in the description, and for all of our merchandise, go to shopoverlandapparel.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.